What is up, everybody? DanDanTheFireman here. We're going to be talking about this motorcycle accident. It's very common, cars merging in front of us and us crashing. Let's figure out what happened, how we can prevent that. This video is going to be strictly just, hazard perception and what type of skills that we're going to need. It's not going to talk about medical stuff because lately the medical stuff has been demonetized and age restricted, which is typically not a big deal because of my Patreon. My Patreon members are actually supporting me quite a bit, but the biggest problem is that when it's age restricted or demonetized, they don't say it, but it really is looking like it, is that nobody gets to see the videos, so then nobody gets the education. So I'm working with YouTube right now, but if you'd like to support the channel, swing on by Patreon, sign up. It really helps out. Okay, so what we're going to be doing is going over this. This is going to be a submission from a DDFM crew member. So thank you so much. I'll be looking at your husband's close call real soon. But we have this whole scene right here. This whole scene is showing we have a Toyota 4Runner wanting to slow down. Okay, so that's what the brake lights are indicating. So once you start to see somebody wanting to slow down, that's when it should clue to you, hey, maybe I should take a step back, slow down myself so I can get an idea of what's going on, because you can't see what he sees. So we need to kind of step back and be like that scared individual, like, okay, what's going on, what's going on, what's going on. So when we see this brown vehicle with no lights, we kind of get that, feeling of like nothing's really happening. We're all moving in the same situation. But when you look over there, it catches your attention, right? So that's something that I really want you guys to focus on, are the things that catch your attention. There's a reason why road signs like this one, where it's a school pedestrian crossing, is that high vis yellow or an orange caution style, like with construction. It wants to grab your attention. So that is very important. So let's utilize those clues to grab our attention. And now that we have our attention focused on these things, still using peripheral to look around, we need to utilize our skills if something does happen. So when we get up to this point, you start to realize what's really happening. You notice how the car in front of the 4Runner isn't really moving. So to me, it's let me know, hey, with the pedestrian crossing, maybe there's people walking across and we have people stopping. So that is going to tell me, hey, I need to slow down just in case something like that's happening. I'm going to make an assumption that there's going to be something in the path of travel of these vehicles that are causing them to slow down or stop. So I should slow down and stop. Another thing is that I can't really tell what's around this vehicle in front of me. So with that, you need to be more so in lane position 1 or 3. Now, I know in the UK I've been getting some comments that it's kind of flipped around. So 3, 2, 1, 1, 2, 3, all these different things. At the end of the day, are you on the inside of the lane or on the outside of the lane? Either way, you need to see around the vehicle in front of you. That way you can kind of get an idea of what's happening. So if all of a sudden you see like something in the road in front of the vehicle, you're going to realize that they're probably going to slow down. And if they don't slow down and they hit the thing, be very careful because it's going to come up and hit you in the face possibly. So we have the vehicle, the car right here wanting to stop, and then we have this vehicle wanting to stop. So when we get to this position about right here, now this vehicle was looking at the brown vehicle. He wasn't looking at the motorcycle rider. And when the brown vehicle passed, he decided to turn his wheels to the right. Now, people talk about, well, why are they doing that? They shouldn't be doing it. They should check the mirror, should check this. At the end of the day, we need to start focusing on the fact that people want to move into something that's going to let them keep moving. They don't want to stay there. They're very impatient. So even if you have the smallest of gaps, they will try to take it. On top of that, if somebody's in front of them stopped, just assume they're going to come over. So what we should be doing is that when we see a big stack of cars lined up in one side and we're in a lane that has no stacks of cars, be on very high alert, because you're going to have a vehicle that wants to merge into your lane as quick as possible. That way they can keep going, and they're not going to look most of the time. It's not going to be inattentional blindness in this situation. I think he was literally looking at the brown vehicle, saw him pass, and decided to go. But then we have this situation right here. So once you see this, our handlebars are already straight. We're going straight, so we're good. What we should do is apply the brakes, progressive brake pressure. So squeeze, and once you start feeling the weight transfer more, squeeze even harder. It's simple as that. Squeeze, 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 squeeze even harder. When you feel that weight go to the front. That is going to give you enough time for this vehicle to accelerate and get in your lane. It sucks. It's not good. I would hate it. It's going to make me panic if this ever happened to me. But we need to start utilizing our brake pressure. And don't be scared to use it, because in this situation, what happened here is that she did start applying the brakes. I mean, she was going 45, now we're at 29, so you're going to have that deceleration. But it wasn't enough. It was a little too late, and maybe it wasn't strong enough. If that's the case, then you could just swerve to the right or to the left. But at the end of the day, you really need to perceive the hazard well ahead of time and make the assumptions and try to figure out driver behavior. If you know driver behavior and you have this idea of what people might do, you'll already be prepared for a situation like this. So let's go ahead and scroll back just a little bit. So we really have 2 or 3 or 4 options at the end of the day. I mean, we can crash into the vehicle, which is what happened. That's option 1. Option 2 is to go off into the grass and hopefully keep it up. That's option 2. Apply the brakes and stop in time with really good progressive brake pressure. That's option 3. Option 4, it kind of seems a little weird. But what you can do is swerve to the left. If there's nobody in the left lane, swerve to the left and just kind of switch spots. But that takes a lot of hazard perception beforehand. So really, at the end of the day, there's not much you can do in this situation. What you can do to help minimize some of that stuff is to wear gear. If we notice that, if you watch the full video link is going to be in the description. We don't have full gear. We only have gloves and a helmet. So if we have full gear, that's the insurance that we have for our body, that we can minimize the abrasions, we can minimize the impacts, all those things. The bike can be replaced, our bodies can't. So let's wear gear, let's focus on hazard perception, and then make sure our skills are within what we're doing. I mean, if we're too close to these vehicles and you don't feel comfortable stopping before this vehicle stops in front of you or swerves in front of you, we shouldn't be in that position. So let's practice, guys. Think of an orange in your hand. Go ahead and grab an orange if you have one, whatever. I want you to grab it and squeeze slowly to get that juice out. You don't just yank it and smash it, right? Same thing with the brakes. Pull it in slowly. Squeeze it slowly. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 5, 4.